Hello everyone, how you doing? This is TubeMix here, and with another tribute video, because today I was saddened to hear the news of the great Ruth Madoc, who played Gladys Pugh in Heidi High. Oh, she was so funny, wasn't she? In case you've not seen Heidi High, I'll run you a premise. So it was basically set in a holiday camp, and she played Gladys Pugh, who was the leader. And she was always wanting to get in a relationship with first Jeffrey Fairbrother, played by Simon Cadell, the late Simon Cadell, and eventually she did get married to Clive Dempster. Dempster. No, I think it is Dempster, sorry. Played by David Griffin. And Heidi High, just I think one of my favourite retro comedies. Of course, that brilliant. In fact, I just listened to the Heidi High tune actually just now. It's got one of the best theme songs. And Ruth, one of her husbands, because she was married twice, was to actor Philip Madoc, who was in Doctor Who, and he was also in that episode of Dad's Army as the U-boat captain. It's funny because people think "Don't Tell Him Pike" was something that was said a lot in the series, but it was only said that once, I think. I don't think it was said that much. Pike, your name will go on the list. Don't tell him, Pike. And absolutely classic comedy moment. And recently I was actually watching some adverts for. Well, I'm amazed they allowed the. Well, I'm not sure they said. Did they mention that their names as refer to each other as Jeffrey and Gladys? I'm not sure, but they were heavily based on those characters. For Cadbury's Whispers in the 1980s. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I was watching few adverts with the Heidi High cast in, because I from Twitter or from YouTube that had recommended to me. And I thought those were so funny. Excuse me. And Heidi High, just extraordinary, really. And Gladys would always famously get a xylophone and tap that and say, "Hello, campers, Heidi High," and they'd go "Hody ho." Just a fantastic program, really. And she was always having to deal with Peggy the maid, who always wanted to be a yellow coat. And I think it was. I was just trying to think of this, funnily enough, the other day. The character who she really didn't get on with, one of the yellow coats. I think it was Sylvia. Yeah, played by Linda Regan, who is married to the great actor Brian Murphy, star of George and Mildred, and later Last of the Summer Wine, of course. She will definitely be missed, absolutely. Thank you, Ruth. And only recently, she had an Instagram account, and Russell T Davis was saying, posted a couple of months ago, that he was talking and catching up with Ruth, and it's a shock, but at least we'll have those great comedic moments. And the best thing about Sir Rose Gladys Pugh is she was often so serious most of the time as well, bossy, that's where the comedy came from. So fantastic, both with Simon Cadell, who was the very awkward Jeffrey Fairbrother. The character wasn't comfortable with any romance, and Gladys's feelings towards him and also running the holiday camp, really. Whether David Griffin's Clive, I think it was Dempster, was very different and, well, a bit too easygoing, actually. But yeah, later ended up getting on very well with Gladys, yeah. And talking of Heidi High, I'll tell you the story that of my mate, well, friend of the channel actually, Jordan Lee Eartham, or JLA Wheels, of course, when we did the football show. Oh goodness me, those were mad times. They were brilliant, but they were also mad times. So he went to see a podcast, and he was in this hotel, and he saw a guy was harassing Sue Pollard, who played Peggy, for a autograph she was doing panto, and he later, when he got to his room, and I think he was opening the door to go out to the back to the restaurant later on the day. I'm not quite sure, but he bumped into Sue Pollard and said, "Right, are you ready for round two then?" Which always makes me laugh, actually. And but he didn't really know who Sue Pollard was, so he asked me, "Will, do you know who Sue Pollard is?" And yeah, I said yes. She was in Heidi Hive's comedy about the Yellowcoats, and a holiday camp, basically. And so yeah, just a really funny story. But yeah, thank you, Ruth, for all the laughs, and yeah, I'm sure hopefully many people will get to continue to enjoy Heidi High, and of course other stuff. And Ruth had a very good singing voice as well. She was in some musicals as well. So yeah, and Paul O'Grady, he posted a picture of the moment on his old chat show where they had them all dressed in the old costumes as well, and that was just great. Yeah, and everyone's just been praising Ruth, saying what a wonderful, kind, loving woman, and what a great sense of humour as well. So yeah, absolutely. So rest in peace, Ruth. The next one is I heard the news of the drummer of the Stranglers, the band, of course, known for hits such as Golden Brown and Always the Sun. The greatly named Jet Black, who, well, I found out by listening to the news that he started off as a jazz drummer, which explains the sort of jazz sound, doesn't it, of Golden Brown, which is mostly inspired, I think, by Dave Brubeck's Take 5. I was trying to think of the piece, yeah. And Golden Brown, I do love that song with the sort of harpsichord, or if it's not a harpsichord, it's a very similar sounding instrument. And yeah, I've always liked that song. And Always the Sun, well, it's a pretty new one for me. I've only heard it a couple of times, but I do like it. In fact, I didn't even know it was the Stranglers. I thought it was from the noughties, or, you know, because it sounds like a modern indie song, really. But no, it was from the same time, the 80s. So yeah, I mean, I loved the story of, they were saying on the news about using an ice cream truck as a tour bus. I mean, yeah, could you imagine that? And, well, obviously they wouldn't have been serving the ice cream, but could you imagine if they had, you know, a tour bus and they'd be serving ice cream to, for example, people that come to their concerts? So yeah, absolutely amazing. And of course, you know, there's plenty. I mean, that's just two of the tracks. I mean, they've done loads, but to me, I'm not really, I know Golden Brown, I know Always the Sun, but apart from that, I don't really know much of the Stranglers catalogue, really. They're not a band, really, that I'm really familiar with, but like I said, do love Golden Brown, and yeah, Always the Sun is pretty good as well. Right, and also, last one, Shirley Coward. Shirley Coward, I think. Yes, sorry, that's yeah, it's a bit of a weird name, isn't it? The Vision Mix are responsible for, because I was reading today, the first Doctor's regeneration. So this William Hartnell to Patrick Troughton. So it was going to be William Hartnell was going to have the cloak on his, put over his face, and then when come to Power of the Daleks, Patrick Troughton would then take the cloak off and then reveal to him. But using a piece of broken machinery, and bear in mind this is the 1960s, so technology was not at its strength as it is now. Got that to give the effect of transformation, to fade in, to mix the shots from Hartnell to Troughton, and to make the regeneration that we all know and we've seen so many times. So yeah. So thank you, Shirley, for really, and you should be more well known because your name should be in the history books because you played an important part in the regeneration of the show, literally. So thank you, Shirley, thank you, Jet, and thank you, Ruth, and in your music and your media, your work will continue to be, I'm sure, loved and treasured by in years to come. I hope definitely. Right, that's it from me. Well, it's already done. So I had the chance to visit the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest experience at Arley Hall on the 12th of November. So I thought it was a bonus upload. I thought it's only short. It's only a few pictures. But yeah, I thought that'd be something nice to upload on the channel. So there's that, and yeah, and obviously there's great stuff to come on the channel as well. I don't have a date for the my interview with Janet Ellis, but I am really looking forward to it. As a Whovian and as a kids TV nerd, it's gonna be really fantastic. So yeah, once I do get a date for you, then I'll let you know, of course. But Janet's a busy woman. She's got grandchildren. She's got the podcast. She's got so many things. She's patron of Maggie's. So she's a busy woman. So she said to me, I'll let you know, and yeah, I'll let you know once I know. All right, thank you for watching, and feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel. And I'll see you soon. Right, cheers everybody. Bye.